Hey Insiders, Daniel Pickett here, and I just wanted to kind of do a quick video. I didn't want to do this while the campaign was going on because I didn't want to, affect anyone's interest or purchase of it. But I've had some thoughts, and I had some thoughts all along the way about the Galactus Marvel Legends Haslab campaign that they ran. I'm sure everyone has their own opinions on it, specifically about the stretch goals. And it just, I've backed I backed the Razor Crest, I backed the Sail Barge. I did not back the Sentinel at the time just because I was not in a place to be able to do that. So, I certainly follow along and am very interested in how Hasbro does their Haslab campaigns, and certainly, followed this one very closely. And, for me, I've been collecting Marvel Legends from the beginning. My very first story that I broke that kind of put me on the scene 20 some odd years ago was Jesse Falcon let me post the wax turnarounds of that very first Toy Biz Iron Man. So I have a long history with Marvel Legends. They are very near and dear to my heart. So I'm just going to kind of talk a little bit, about what was available, and then I'm going to give you my top 5 of, if I were in charge of things, what I would have substituted maybe a few of those for. As always, just my opinion. I don't want it to affect, I don't want you to be disappointed if you backed it to go, oh yeah, this is better. Making content, had some thoughts, sharing it with you, and I'd like to kind of start a dialogue with you guys. So let's talk about it. So, as you know, some of the, what did we get? First, we got the Frankie, the Nova Herald, which I think is great. Perfect stretch goal. Love it. Second, we got the Silver Surfer. I get why they put him in there, but, again, I feel like I already have, 7 Silver Surfers in my collection somewhere throughout the years. It's probably closer to 5-ish. I don't know, maybe 6. But I feel like we've got some, and we've got a couple just recently. So I totally get why they did it. He's got a stand. He's got some other extra things. I get it. Maybe not my first choice, but totally get it. Then we got Morg, which, a brand new character, another Herald, which I think is great. Probably the only way we are going to get that character. So, okay. And then the last one I think was kind of stymieing to some of us is that giant Doctor Doom head, which is very one story specific. Galactus has this decades-long history in the Marvel Universe. And so to do a stretch goal that was kind of that specific to a single story, I thought that was an odd choice. Clearly it didn't bother people because it broke the Razor Crest record, again. Great. Fantastic. I'm very happy for my friends, and I do have friends on the Marvel Hasbro team, so I'm not criticizing them or anything like that. Again, pie in the sky. If I ran the world, if it was my campaign, these are some of my thoughts. So this is, maybe I'll pick on that Dr. Doomhead a little bit in this, and I will say this is my top 5 ideas to have replaced that if I were in charge. Number 1. Firelord. I understand probably why we didn't get Firelord. He is a more complicated sculpt. When you think about Nova, she's just kind of the naked female, so you just kind of need a head and a paint job. Silver Surfer is just kind of a new head on some existing parts. Firelord's a little more complicated, and I think he is probably popular enough to make it into a regular wave. And we might get him. It sounds like they've kind of hinted a little bit about, when they were saying that there's no more Heralds as stretch goals, but we might see some more Heralds. That, he's still a possibility. We did get a Toy Biz figure of him back in the day. We've seen a lot of the Marvel Legends paying tribute to the old Toy Biz 5-inch line, so maybe we will see a Fire Lord as Galactus is closer to shipping. I hope so. I've always loved that character. I would have loved to have seen that as a stretch goal, but you know, I understand why it's not. Next one. A lot of people asking for Terex. We've gotten one before. It was very early in the Hasbro line, so not everyone has him. I get wanting another one, an updated one, a beefy one. So I don't know that he's my actual pick because I do have him. I would say maybe Airwalker, which, you know, you probably wouldn't put in the main line. You know, he's you know, got a little bit of old school kitsch to him, but still pays very dear tribute history to the Kirby origins of Galactus. So number 2, I would say Airwalker. And number 3, I would love to have seen us get as an accessory the Planetary Converter. That is that big weapony thing, jackhammer, that the original Toy Biz Galactus came with. The original one had lights, it had sound. I don't need all the bells and whistles on it, but something in scale with the new Galactus that pays tribute to that original Toy Biz Galactus, I think would have been super fun, super interesting, and a great display piece. And you know, you could make it bigger and cooler, but something paying tribute to that I would have loved to have seen. Number 4. This one would be harder to do, but I think it would have made a lot of people happy to have an actual Jack Kirby head and just the flat disc on the chest plate, so that you have more of a Kirby-esque Galactus. Kirby was one of the designer, you know, he was the designer of Galactus. He has a rich history with Galactus. This Galactus design is kind of made up. It's not like any Galactus I've ever really seen in the comic. You know, it feels very sort of splash pagey trader card. You know, I just haven't seen one quite specifically, you know, really with the head and that sort of thing. When you think about like the original, or the original Marvel Legends, the Build-A-Figure Galactus, that was such a love letter to Kirby. I love that figure. I would have loved to have seen something in this to give me more Kirby, really. That just would have made it far easier for me to plunk down my money for something like this. And again, it would be difficult to do. I suspect they didn't do something like that. You know, we have the swappable face plates, but because the eyes light up, to be able to swap a head out with the light feature in there would be very difficult. So I kind of get why that didn't happen, but again, if I'm just making up what I would like to see, that's the one I would like to see for number 4. And number 5, my final entry into this thing that I would have preferred over, say, the Doctor Doom head. I would love to see some freaking Kirby crackle that you could clamp onto him. Maybe it's around his hands, maybe it attaches to his back and, you know, kind of goes all around him. Again, tying into that rich Marvel Kirby history and Galactus history. I think that would have been a lot of fun to display with, and infinitely more interesting than, you know, I think that head, for a lot of folks, they're going to kind of plunk it on and go, oh, yeah, look, and then it's going to go in your part bin. So something like that I think would have been easy, you know, make it translucent with the black spots in the middle. I think that would have been a lot of fun. What would you have liked to have seen as other stretch goals in this campaign? Are there any that I missed that you think should have been included? Are there any of mine that you think are crazy? Let me know in the comments. As always, please subscribe to the channel. I think it's fun having these sorts of conversations. I'd like to do more of these sorts of things. Like, subscribe, share, and at the end of this, I do want to say I love the Galactus. I love the campaign that my friends at Hasbro ran. I'm not trying to trash anyone or do any hot takes or anything. This is just one guy going, I would have liked this. So again, don't cancel your order or anything and blame me because you went, yes, that's what I wanted. So again, what would you have dug? What did I get wrong? Let's talk about it. I like talking about toys. That's all. We'll be back with lots more toy discussions, information, news, and just whatever strikes our fancy here on AFI TV. As always, thank you for watching. I hope you are doing well in these weirdo times. Be safe, mask up, get your vaccine, and let's get back to having fun at conventions.